I'ma get funky.
Alien HUK.
I'ma get crazy. I'ma get loose. I'ma get hazy, hazy, hazy. I'ma take a ride. 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 Take me to your leader, take me to your leader, take me to your leader. 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 Take me to your leader.
Signal acquisition initiated. Cross-referencing anomaly archives. Pattern recognition complete. Aether 8 online.
Hello.
How do
You know
not
what?
that?
I'm sat here, I'm watching you two bopping away, and I'm like,
Loving it.
why can't this bit be live? Why can't we all be watching this?
Hey,
You need to record it, screen record it, and add it into the intro.
No, I don't even think of doing that. Welcome. Thank you both so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
absolutely. That was a bumping ass intro, man. I was digging that. I love
Thank
that
you.
open. That's awesome. Good stuff.
Alienate UK.
It sticks in your head.
Yeah,
It does. I was actually singing it going around
Yeah.
Sainsbury's last week.
they're the best, but also the worst. But obviously, I'm getting the name out there, so
Yeah.
for me, it's win-win.
Repetition is key to learning. Repetition is key to learning. Yeah.
So before we crack on, I'm just going to say hello to a few people in the chat. So we've got Warren Hardcastle, Drew Hollins, Bigfoot Dwarf, Blazer, David. Blazer? Who's David? Darren, Baby Blazer, doing the moderating. We've got Jojo Joe, a few others, but it's scrolling and I can't see it. So welcome, guys. It's been a minute or two, hasn't it?
It has.
Couple of
Well, I
minutes.
feel like I'm in England every other week. Come on now.
I know.
Wow, man.
You're,
Seriously. You've got some
Sounds like
citizenship, haven't you?
you're
Yeah.
probably in England more than I am, and I live here.
I wish I lived there. Let's just say I love it that much. Tea at
I'll swap
Nan's,
you.
my
I'll
favorite.
swap you.
Yeah, you
I'll
got
do a
better weather,
swap.
dude.
Ooh, house
Yeah.
swap, wife swap, the whole thing, or no?
I'm telling a new series coming on.
Sorry,
On the
different show. Sorry.
That's a different.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So, what have you guys been up to other than everything and Patterson-Gimlin? Supposed evidence
about to
as
say,
to what's going
yeah,
on with that.
Yeah, there's really nothing going on in the Bigfoot community right now. Really nothing to talk about, nothing to see here. I mean, I've kind of been bored. Actually, it's been quite the opposite. It's definitely been a busy couple of weeks for me in the Bigfoot stuff. So,
Patterson-Gimlin hoax. Patterson-Gimlin hoax. That's
Do
hoax.
you know what? Do you know what?
No, it's
He'll do it.
I'm-
He'll do it.
I'm gonna make that and I'll send it to you both over the weekend.
He
That'll
will
be
do
like
it.
Nice.
30
Last in my
seconds,
car.
but I'll do it. There you go.
By car, I mean
So-
minivan.
Just before we carry on, I just want to play this to say thank you to some of the moderators and a good friend who helps me decide on stuff. So here we go, 20 seconds.
There's an alien in my shed chewing corn, chewing corn, chewing corn. There's an alien in my shed chewing corn, chicken corn. Come on, everybody, let's do the hoedown. What the job? The airlines.
Dude, I am digging the gold bell bombs.
That is some crazy Irish dancing, and those pants are
Uh,
fabulous.
I want to
Yes.
see Andy in those
Oh, it
pants,
was.
man.
So
We should
the
all-
original, so it started off with Simon and Darren, and it was like the country men. Then we added Blazer, that was the country boys. Then we added Og, so we had to change it to the country folk. Then Darren said, "Can you give Blazer a pair of disco trousers?" So I did 70 sparkly disco trousers. And Blazer messaged me, "Why am I wearing flares? Well, the 70s disco trousers. What do you
He's in now.
expect?"
I
So
thought there was a recording of me over the weekend with a couple of my buddies on the property. I thought you had gotten into my footage from the trail.
you
cam.
never know. You never
You
know.
never know.
Wait for the next one, Brian. You could be in it.
That's my aspiration. That's when I know I've arrived.
I want in, but no pants. No pants.
Oh, just the
Again,
best.
different show.
Just the best. Yeah.
What? You put me in a Speedo. I'm not saying, or a sock
Yeah.
or something.
Alien
Right.
8 UK After Dark.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know
You know
what? We are actually doing one of that. We're actually doing
Doing.
one. Have I still got it? Let me. So this is it. I'll have to kick us off for 1 minute while I show you this.
I hope it's.
There you
Nice.
go.
That is
You've got it
cool.
all set up and ready.
Yeah.
You didn't know I was clairvoyant, did you? Now you know.
No,
Now we know.
seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes
these
we have
talents are
shenanigans,
just-
so they need to be after the watershed.
Yes. We have to be PC like we're
Yes.
teaching infant children.
Yes.
So, yeah, the world of Google. That's all I'm going to say. As you guys probably know anyway. So, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Patterson-Gimlin?
Or are we releasing the Kraken?
That's enough. Just that's.
Hey, I was
Yeah.
actually being PC on that one.
Luckily, he's got his speedos on, so we're all right.
Don't ask why there's 8 of them.
Oh,
We're after dark. You set it up. We're after dark. It just is what
We
it is.
are.
oh,
It's my highest rated
no,
show.
no,
Abby.
no.
Should we keep doing it? Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Just, come on,
I
just do
say,
it.
I say we spill the tea on Patterson-Gimlin.
Patterson.
Go on then. What? So before you watched any of what was going on and you just heard about it, what was your initial thought as to what was being said?
Go ahead, Ryan. Take it away.
Well, I mean, immediately they're going to take a stab at something that for 59 years, it's the most scrutinized film after the Kennedy assassination, and no one's been able to prove anything yet. But yet, out of left field or right field, whatever field you want it to be, they suddenly have the smoking gun. They suddenly have it all, and it just lines up. When it came to me, okay, I'm in this for the truth.
Yeah.
But like any
Yeah.
fanboy of the greatest cryptid film of all time, I also really, really want that to be true. So even though truth is first, it stung. It was like waking up into a nightmare, kind of. That's what it felt like. Just like, no way,
Yeah.
there's no way. So, but that's the part of me that loves it and wants it to be real, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
But the investigator and the citizen scientist, or whatever you guys call yourselves, that part was like, hey, This is exciting, right? I don't think this destroys the world of Bigfooting at all. Any press is good press. You're still going to have your believers that are just going to dig down harder. You're going to have the ones that really think it's all dumb that are going to dig down harder. And the curious people in the middle are going to get their popcorn. They're going to sit back and they're going to listen to Brian's podcast and what he's done. To be honest, I've kind of stayed back away from it because I'll be honest, it stings. I love that film. But I'm very excited to see it when it comes out, and I have greatly enjoyed how Brian has tracked it and addressed it and researched and dealt with it. So I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for Brian.
Cool.
Yeah, for me, it was one of those things that it was circling around the drain for the last 2.5 weeks or so. It was in the algorithm, right? Everything that I see when I look into social media is all Bigfoot all the time, pretty much for me. And I stayed quiet, very much like Ryan, because I have went back and forth on the authenticity of the Patterson-Gimlin film. Anybody who's followed me at all has known that I've gone back and forth. And I just settled within the last year or so on siding with Bob because, as he said, it's one of the most scrutinized films in the history of any film. Outside of the Zapruder film, I think it's probably the most analyzed film in history, frankly.
Yeah.
Never been able to prove, nobody's ever been able to prove that it was a hoax, because that's very difficult. I've talked about this with other people in the past, the Todd Standing stuff, and anybody who hoaxes anything. It's very hard to prove a negative, right? Unless there's a smoking gun or an admission that somebody's on tape, or you have something like additional footage that may make more sense in the totality of the circumstances. All you really have is what you see. And I eventually came down on the fact, there's been some discrepancies here and there between Bob's, I've got Todd Prescott in Sasquatch Archives has Bob and Roger on the radio 6 days after Patty was filmed, and they're talking about the film. And then you can go back to 2019 and listen to some of his interviews, and there's some discrepancies there. But ultimately, without a smoking gun and anything to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was hoaxed in some way or it's a fake film, I came down and sided with Bob and Roger that Patty was real.
Yeah. Until
this film came out. And even then, when that started circling the drain, I was very quiet about it because I didn't have any information. I'd never seen the film. I haven't seen Capturing Bigfoot. So what am I going to talk about? Somebody said this kind of started with somebody going to a screening and they left a review for the film. And some of the things they mentioned got the Bigfoot world up in arms about what was potentially in this film. So until I see it, or somebody that I know and trust has seen it that can relay some information to me, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have anything to say. But once Eric Palacios, and anybody who's in Bigfoot may be familiar with Eric, he's kind of new to the scene, but he's been around for a couple of years. I've had him on the show before. He's big into FOIA requests. He does these freedom of information requests from every state in the union, basically. And he's gotten tons of stuff back about Bigfoot, particularly down in RPG's area, down in Florida. Tons of different things he's gotten back that people have never gotten into because, frankly, FOIA requests are hard and sometimes expensive. So you got to know how to navigate that world. And Eric does it flawlessly. And he's brought a lot of great things, in my opinion, as far as evidence is concerned, to support the existence of these creatures for the Bigfoot community. So I waited until something popped up on my radar, and then I saw Eric doing a reaction video because he went to a screening. I think it was in Austin, Texas. He went out to a screening and saw this film. He was there. He watched the film in its entirety, and he came out and did a reaction video, and I think it was titled "The Patterson-Gimlin Film is a Hoax." And I watched it. It's about 33 minutes. I watched it intently. I reached out to Eric immediately and said, "Hey, man, I'm watching your video. This is kind of interesting." So I felt the need to respond in some way to say, "Hey, now I've seen this. I've got more information. Let me just do a couple of lives." So I went live on my social media. And within 10 minutes of going live on Facebook, I'd laid my phone down and my phone rang, and it was Doug Hychek, Monster Quest.
Ooh, yeah.
Immediately, and he said, "Hey, man, I just saw you live. Let me let you know what I know about this." So Doug and I had a 30-minute conversation about it. And he gave me a little bit of what he considered some inside information about, specifically to do with Dr. Jeff Meldrum. The late Dr. Jeff Meldrum is in this film. They show him this 40-second clip, and Doug said that Jeff called him right after that happened, and he felt a little bit ambushed, frankly. He didn't know they were going to show him this clip. He was kind of ambushed clarify it. So Doug was sort of clarifying to me because Eric mentions that Jeff is in the film and he gets a little bit, what some people are saying, upset visibly. Basically the reaction to what he's seeing, this 40-second clip he's having a reaction to. Well, Doug called me to say it may be more of the fact that Jeff felt a little bit ambushed here. He wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So that was good to know that Jeff had actually called Doug after this happened, and then Doug was able to call me and relay this. So that was another layer to this. But I tell you, if you listen to what Eric has to say in his video, he is very specific, saying this 40-second clip shows Bob Gimlin atop a horse with a rifle in his hand, basically mimicking what we were told that Bob was doing while Roger was filming the PG film in 1967. Hands over to what looks to be a man wearing the Patty suit, right? Patty as we know her in the Patterson-Gimlin film in 1967. So if you put those two things together, and if that is accurate, as Eric has said, he's witnessed it in this documentary, that's a huge deal because, as far as I know, Patty's only supposed to be in one piece of film. And that was October 20th, 1967, filmed with a K100 Kodachrome film, Roger Patterson, Bob Gimlin, alone in the woods in Bluff Creek. This scene is not Bluff Creek. This is a different area, and it's clearly a man in a suit that Eric says matches exactly, in his opinion, what we see in the Patterson-Gimlin film. There's no, according to him, it's not any of the other suits that we've seen that have been produced by Philip Morris. Other people have claimed that Bob Hieronymus was the person in the suit. According to what's presented in the documentary, as I understand it, that is not Bob Hieronymus in this 40-second clip that nobody has ever seen, except for the people who've seen this new Capturing Bigfoot documentary. It's actually Al Diatley, which is Roger Patterson's brother-in-law, Iva, being Roger's sister's husband, is supposed to be the one in the suit. So there's a lot of moving parts there. But in addition to that, and I just want to be very clear here, I've been arguing with people online, as I tend to do. If you know me well enough, you know I will get in some comments. I will slide into your DMs. I'm passionate. I'll slide in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
In hot pants.
in hot pants.
I want to know if the gold.
And you've met me, so you've probably seen them, Abby. So here's the thing. I see this as a little bit of a red herring because there are some pretty big folks on the YouTube pages. You know, Cabin in the Woods has put out he's got 130 some odd thousand subscribers. He's put out a couple of videos on this. And everybody seems to be presenting what I consider to be a red herring in this, is we're arguing about the date code on this particular film. I just finished an interview a couple of days ago with Bill Munns, who, if you're in the Bigfoot community at all, you know who Bill Munns is. He's probably the leading expert when it comes to the Patterson-Gimlin film. He has spent more time with this film, studying it, than anybody else on earth. When I sat down with Bill and had a conversation, who's, by the way, also in this Capturing Bigfoot documentary, we started having this conversation, and Bill actually, they allowed him to not only view the digitized version of this new 40-second clip, but they gave him the 16 millimeter Kodachrome film stock to examine physically with a loop. So he puts a loop on. He flat out told me on my show it was definitely manufactured in 1967. But here's the other part of that. And this is the red herring that I'm getting to here. Just because it was manufactured in 67 doesn't tell us when it was filmed, right? When it was shot, when it was exposed, put in the camera, and someone actually filmed something, right? All you know is when it was manufactured. But here's the problem that I have with this, what I call the red herring. Frankly, it doesn't matter when it was shot. It could have been shot in 2012. It doesn't matter.
Only to 2010, which I learned from your show.
Only to 2010.
Yeah.
Because the last place that you could actually develop Kodachrome film closed down. The lab closed down in 2010.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If it shows what Eric has said that it showed to him when he watched this documentary, which is the Patty suit, right? We've all seen the ridiculous suits in the past where they've done these recreations. They're horrible replications of what we see in the Patterson-Gimlin film. I think we can all agree on that. That's not what Eric says he saw in this 40-second clip. So if that's accurate, and we do see the suit or what appears to be quote unquote Patty in this other film, this other 40-second clip, it matters not when it was shot.
Yeah.
It could have been 66, 67. It could have been shot 27 minutes after Patty was filmed in October 20th, 1967. It could have been done in 73, 74, 70. It doesn't matter. So I'm trying to redirect people who are, in my opinion, spreading false information here, and they're perpetuating this red herring. We shouldn't be talking about necessarily when it was shot. It doesn't matter. I don't know how you can prove that. I was listening to some videos, and I've never watched The Cabin in the Woods, but this guy put out this video, and he's talking about, he's going back to, you know, these people in the documentary don't have any proof of when this was shot. And I'm screaming to the rafters, dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it was shot. If something's only supposed to exist one time, Patty was only filmed by Roger Patterson with one camera on one sandbar on one day for 1 year, 1967, October 20th. If something that even remotely resembles what we see in the Patterson-Gimlin film is existing in another place at a different time with Bob Gimlin atop a horse, I hate to say and use the catchphrase that everybody's using, but in my opinion, my cop brain tells me that's pretty much case closed, right? It would be the equivalent of seeing O.J. Simpson's face on Nicole Simpson's security camera outside of her apartment, standing there talking to her before she was murdered. Do you think?
With gloves on.
With gloves on, right?
Small gloves.
That's kind of where I'm at on this. I am certainly not declaring by any stretch of the imagination that the Patterson-Gimlin film is a hoax by any stretch of the imagination, because I have not seen this new clip. All I'm trying to do here, very much like Ryan said eloquently while he was talking about this, is I'm a truth seeker. I do want the Patterson-Gimlin film to be real. I want Patty to be a real creature. I want that to be real. I've wanted it to be real since I saw it for the first time. But I'm also very realistic. If the evidence shows us something different, we as a community, we as individuals, in my opinion, have to have the ability to think critically and say, I want to take in that information. Because what's happening in the Bigfoot community right now, and even friends of mine that I consider friends in the Bigfoot community, are coming out in droves and they're condemning Mark Evans for doing this film. They're talking about the film, the documentary capturing Bigfoot being a hoax, and how we should boycott this film. That to me is a huge red flag. And even if we're friends, if you're listening to this now and we're friends and you're saying that we don't need that new information because you side with Bob, Patty's real, I'm sorry, dude, you're wrong. You're wrong. We need to have all the information to have an informed, to make an informed decision about something is real or not. So,
Definitely.
But
that's
what's also making this so amazing is that you are having those strong reactions. Any press is good press. Okay. In my humble opinion, this isn't going to radically move the needle in any direction. Non-believers are going to be like, told you. The believers are going to be like, I told you. All it does is get the screaming going. But he's a true fanboy, you know, like Eric. Watching his video was hard to watch because unless he's a classically trained Juilliard actor, my heart was breaking in his performance because his heart was breaking in what he saw. That's that cloud, that storm. My reality is now shifting. But what I hope for your friends and stuff and these people going through this, remember what got you into this in the beginning, solving the greatest mystery ever. And fall back in love with that, because if this does close, no one's saying relic hominids are not real. They're just saying the greatest film of all time is not real. So you still win. You're, as a true believer, you still win, or a true knower, as some of us are. So and I think it's beautiful. You're watching people ride an emotional roller coaster that for some of us is very powerful.
And I've said that since day one. The Patterson-Gimlin film isn't the end-all be-all for the existence of these creatures. It's the experience. I have interviewed over 1,000 people at this point that have shared their encounters with me. I've had my own experiences. I've stood 10 feet away from these creatures. I absolutely know that they're real. The Patterson-Gimlin film, I think I said it online recently. I was making a comment. I said, it's okay. Patty can die and Sasquatch can still be real.
Yes.
Those things they can happen at the same time. The Patterson-Gimlin film isn't what hinges, the existence of these creatures don't hinge on the validity or whether this film is real or not. Those things can happen.
Yeah.
It can be a hoax and Bigfoot can be real.
Yeah.
Can I ask the question that is on the edge of everyone's mind about that short clip that is the most damning evidence of all? Do you see Patty's breasts?
Yes.
You do? Because I haven't heard anyone
Well,
say
I think you do.
Or are we
you,
filling
Brian?
in the blanks on that one?
I'm not even trying to be perverted. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
do you see them?
It's a fair question. And I don't
question.
I
Well,
don't
I've
think
got-
I don't think Eric really got into that in his reaction video.
No, I didn't see it. And that's
And
what
I'm
I'm waiting on.
actually, as we record this, I'm interviewing Eric in 3 hours. He's going to be on my show talking about this. So
Yeah.
I'm going to nail down some of those very specific questions that I have about what he actually saw, because he had a lot to go on. He was clearly emotional, like Ryan said, when he did his reaction video. I think he did a very good job of trying to hit the high points of what he saw and what he didn't see. But I'm really going to drill down into what he actually saw in those 40 seconds. And here's the other thing that we got to remember also. Everybody's talking about this 40-second clip, which is huge. It's definitely a big deal. But you've got to look at the totality of the circumstances. I say this on my show all the time. If somebody says something, one person says this happened, okay, you take that with a grain of salt. If 10 people say it, if 10 people witnessed it, then you go, wow, man, that's really interesting that 10 people saw that, right? But if 30 people or 100 people, then it just multiplies. So it's about the totality of the circumstances. This documentary, I think, came about because this piece of film came to Mark Evans, the director and producer of this film. That's sort of how this started rolling. But let's keep in mind that he then approached Clint Patterson, Roger Patterson's youngest son, and Patricia Patterson, Roger Patterson's widow, and said, hey, I've got some new stuff here. I'd like to have a conversation with you guys about what's going on with the Patterson film. And to his astonishment, from what I've been told, they've told everybody pretty much in the history of the world to go pound sand. They're not interested in having a conversation about the validity of the film until now.
Yeah.
And when he approached Clint not only said, yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with you. My mom told me 10 years ago, this was hoaxed. It was my dad. It was Bob Hieronymus. It was Al Diatley, and it was Bob Gimlin. So now you have another layer to this. You have this 40-second clip, but you also have his son and his wife that appear in this documentary. And from what I've been told, they don't really mince words about the fact that it's a hoax. And even furthermore, what I've been told is Patricia Patterson says, this film has hurt so many people, it is cursed. Those are pretty powerful. So when you add that on top of the other layer of, oh, by the way, there's this other film that looks like Patty's walking somewhere other than Bluff Creek in 67. You add all those things together, it does not look good for the home team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For the validity of the film.
Quick question.
Go on, Andy.
Why was it nicknamed Patty? Was it because of his wife?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I think because it was a female, obviously there's breast. His name, Patterson, Patty.
Yeah.
But with his wife being, you say Patricia.
Maybe it was a pet name for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
No,
I mean, I was going to play devil's advocate until you said about his son, but then again, it's like some things can be so infamous that they just want to distance themselves away from it. And you do find that with people sometimes. But you said it was at a different location, them being investigators themselves, and anyone who is an investigator, if you see something, you want to try and recreate it to see if it, something happened, if it was someone or a wild animal, if it was someone pissing about in the woods, and you weren't aware of it. So as an investigator, you would try and recreate it. So the likelihood is, if I saw something like that out there, I'd want to get someone in a suit and walk, because I want to see if you match it up. Is it walking like a human? Is it different? Is it that? So this 40-second clip, playing devil's advocate on this one, I know it's not looking good for the home team, but could it have been a recreation? Could it have been a, trying to debunk it in some way?
Well, I don't know where Ryan is on this, but I'll tell you my personal opinion on that. And this is something that Bill Munn's brought up on my show. Again, Bill is in this film. He was interviewed for, he told me over 4 hours, they sat down and interviewed him. They did not tell him that they had this 40-second clip. They let him go on record for 4 hours plus in his interview. And then they said, oh, by the way, and Ryan, you've been around television way more than any of us. You know what that's
producing move. That is a good.
That's a great. That's the money shot, right?
Yeah.
You let everybody go on. You let him go on record for 4 hours talking about everything to do with the PG film, and then you go, but here, wait, there's more. We've got a 40-second clip that appears that Patty is in a different place at a different time with the same people involved here. What do you got to say about that, folks?
Yeah.
So, but even at that, it's one of those things where, yeah, there was some shock there for him, I think, because he was actually expecting them to show him some of the other footage that he has always suspected that has existed. Mm-hmm. But he said to me on the interview that I did with him, and I'm talking about Bill Munn's, he said what he watched was the opening where someone was pretending to be Bob Gimlin. Okay, I took note of that. And then he goes into what he saw. He says to him, it doesn't appear that the head matches what he saw in the Patterson-Gimlin film, because that's what initially drew him to Patty being real, was the neck and shoulder and head area. Because if it were a suit, based on his experience, it's very difficult to replicate what we see in the PG film. So he went straight there. He said the body is a little bit off, but he did say multiple times on my show, the walk was spot on, and that really struck him as a moment for him, because whoever's in the suit is walking identical to Patty, basically. So to me, that was one of those things that it just adds a little bit of another little layer there of maybe this is what we think it is, right? Yeah. If this person can walk very close to what Patty is in the 67 footage, no matter when this was shot, is it possible that somebody else could have done this at some other time? So there's a whole bunch of things swirling around and going on here. But to me, I'll be honest with you, the replica film doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Let's say they shot the October 20th, 1967. They started touring with this film pretty quickly. They were showing this in theaters. This is the real deal, folks. They're selling tickets. They're making money. People are buying this hook, line, and sinker. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm a businessman. It doesn't make sense financially to me. I'm going to write a new book. Shameless plug. I write a new book, and then I'm going to go back. I wrote the book. Everybody likes the story. Am I going to go back and rewrite the book to see if they like the story more? It doesn't make sense to me. Why would Al Diatley, a shrewd businessman, not a very nice person from what I've understood about his personality, it doesn't strike me. He doesn't strike me as the type of person, and frankly, anybody, it doesn't make sense to me. We got some great shots in the documentary you and I were in, right? We didn't go back and try to replicate that to make it better. It just was what it was. And that's the end of it. You don't spend time, you don't spend money, you don't spend resources going back and seeing if you can replicate something, because that's what Bill has argued. He argued it with me on the show. He said, hey, I think Al Diatley was concerned about whether this could be hoaxed, and he was charging people to see this, and he wanted to know if it could be replicated. So that's what we see. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Now, what does make sense to me, if you're going to film something that you want to be right, do you think every Marvel movie or any movie that you see, everything we see is the first take?
No.
Absolutely not. No. You may be watching the 150th take when they zoom in on the actor's face and they get the dialogue perfect, they get the reaction perfect. It might have taken 150 times for them to do that. That's where you spend the money and the time and the resources to get the perfect shot. They already had that in the PG film. It's a slam dunk. Why would anybody go to they would have another suit built go to another location, have everybody there, and then film it to do what? To prove that you've already done it? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Just quick, I have some homework for you, Abby. As far as I know, right? Yes, meet me in the dark alley in the backwoods. No. As far as I know, right? Why hasn't anyone attempted to communicate with the ghost of Roger Patterson and ask? As much of a stretch, that is still within our realm, and there are some people who are very adept at that I think that's very interesting. Right. And one other thing is on the show I just did with Daniel Lee Barnett, who we all know because he's probably calling you all right now, like he's calling me.
He's in the chat.
I love him. I love him to death. But John Gaston, who I work with on Parageeks, brought up something that was very interesting. That's why, Brian, I love following your research as an investigator, because you kept hitting me with info that I didn't know. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for, those things that get us excited about it again. But what John said was, the other player in this game that he would like to step forward that could clear the room is Kodak, because Kodak, when they get the film, now I don't know the details on this. I just learned this, so anyone knows, but they basically make like 5 copies of it, keep them pure, clean, before color correction, for everything. So Kodak is most likely sitting on the copy that disappeared. They have one. So the original is out there, and there is one as close to the damn original as possible that Kodak has. That I find fascinating. If I had a bunch of money, you know what I'd be doing right now? Yeah. I would be working the Kodak angle, and Abby, you would be levitating above the ground talking to Roger. Like that's wearing hot pants.
Damn, you figured out my weekend.
But then you've got another option.
Yeah.
Remote view it.
There you go.
There's enough people out there that can do it. We all know at least 2-3 people that remote view. So
I should have asked Brian yesterday.
Why don't we approach it from the angle within our realm, right? And see if it comes up with anything. At the very least, and from a producing standpoint, we could build that up and make it really interesting until you get some kind of an answer. But anyway, I find it fascinating. And bravo, Brian, on jumping in, because I'll be honest, I didn't want to jump in because it stings. So bravo to jumping in and trying to clear the air and get into the truth, which is
what many of you fell in love with and sparked your curiosity and passion for the field, isn't it, from a very early age? So I can understand how emotional and heartbreaking it is for a lot of people. But as you say, Paddy may be dead, but squatching isn't. It doesn't mean that there's not something out there. It doesn't mean that we haven't got to the bottom of this mystery yet. No one has. And that's what keeps people going, and that's what keeps the passion alive.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? It's like it's opened the door for you guys to go out and do Bigfoot research. It was that was the initial point of where it all began.
Yeah. And you have to see the good that's come from it, right? Like just Life with Daniel. That film inspired his grandfather, who then inspired him, and it gave him his voice. We can analyze and break this down. I was very curious. It's very interesting that Patricia said that it's hurt so many people. I'm very intrigued, because I would do a study then. Okay, show me the people it's hurt. But let's also see all the people it got back into nature. It gave them their voice. It gave them a passion. It made them have a zest for life again. Like, I'd love to see that comparison, because I'm willing to bet, $5. I got a lot of kids. I need diapers. That it's helped more than it's hurt.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Well, look. I know I don't know the actual size, but the Bigfoot community, not just in the US, but around the world.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Look at what's great. We wouldn't be sat here now if it wasn't. This is part of why we're all sat here.
We wouldn't have met, because we all met at the Cryptid conference. So yeah.
And at the end of the day, Patty was never the only Sasquatch that ever existed. Again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. She was never the only one. Now, there are people who think that. There are plenty of people out there who aren't into this and don't do the research, who still think that, and they think, oh my God, if that's not real, then Bigfoot's not real. That's fine. But the majority of us know different. There are so many experiencers That's what my entire career, my show is based on, is people who have had these experiences with these creatures very close up. There's no doubt what they've experienced. And that can be true without the Patterson-Gimlin thing being real.
Well, the surgeon's photograph didn't end Nessie, and Nessie didn't start with the surgeon's photograph. So, you know.
I was going to say, Roswell, look what happened there. They tried to cover it up and say it didn't happen. Did it stop it happening? Did it stop anyone becoming ufologists and going out looking in the skies and the oceans and everywhere else? Exactly. No, it created more people to go out and actually do that. So,
same with all these paranormal shows that are made for television and edited,
created. Too many.
But no, the pioneering ones, even though we know how they were made, it still spurned so many groups.
They didn't start off like that, though. They didn't start off as entertainment purposes only. It started off as legit. They wanted to go out. But when it was getting bigger and better and more people were tuning and watching it, it's like, we need to bring this back a bit. And
commissioners and exec producers, man, you got to keep them happy.
And then you've got the line what you can't cross with the actual evidence that you've got, because they're not allowed to put that out there on national TV, as we all know.
You all met someone at the last conference who was with me who filmed for Most Haunted, and he actually saw activity going on and it was totally ignored. So sometimes they don't want to show it.
Yeah.
I think it just boils down to for me at this point, the only thing I want to see in the Bigfoot community is people open up their minds. Let's get out of the dogma. Let's stop treating the film as it's a sacred cow. And let's just be open and honest about what the evidence shows. That's where we really should be. I think anybody who's interested in this, I think if you close yourself off to new evidence, you're doing not only yourself, but the subject in general a disservice. Yeah. Because we should want all the information. That's all I've ever wanted is data and information when it comes to the subject, because truly that is our currency when it comes to Bigfoot. Not everybody gets to see these creatures. Not everybody gets to film them. Not everybody gets to record them. Not everybody gets to interact with them. So the data from the people who do is our currency. Yeah. So just be open and honest about what this film may or may not show. And here's the thing. If you haven't seen it, and I think 98%, maybe 99% of the Bigfoot community hasn't seen the film. Yeah. And yet they're picking sides, they're planting their stakes in the ground, and they're saying, I stand with Bob, which is very honorable. I think Bob Gimlin is an amazing guy. I think if anything, if this does turn out to be a hoax, I would have to call Bob a reluctant hoaxer. I don't think this was his brainchild. I don't think he set out to deceive people. I think it was part of something that got out of hand and got out of control, if that's what it turns out to be. And that's not what I'm saying, but that's how I feel about it. I think Bob deserves a pass here in some ways. I've certainly reached out to him. I've been in contact with people very close to Bob, trying to get him on the show for a comment. I don't know that that's going to happen. But clearly, this is going to move forward with or without what he has to say. Yeah. And that's the other part of it. He is literally the only one left alive to deal with this. And I think that's something that I think we all need to pause and think about here. Even me, who I'm open to the fact that it may be a hoax. It may not be a hoax. I don't know. We'll see. The jury's still out. I've still got to see the evidence. But we do have a person here who has spent the last better part of 6 decades saying and standing by his story. What's that going to do to him? And I think that's something that we all have to think about as well. You know, there's plenty of people standing with Bob. I don't know when everybody does get a chance to see this, if it's going to change, but I think we need to remember what we're talking about here. I don't think he was the mastermind behind this by any stretch of the imagination. I think he was what I would consider a quote reluctant hoaxer, if there is such a thing. And I mean, we have to look back at history. History shows that Bob did not go on tour. They actually hired an actor to play Bob Gimlin in many different places where they took this film back in the late 60s, early 70s. because Bob stepped away from it for a long time. He didn't really get back into Bigfooting until 2004, 2005-ish. So he was absent for 25 plus years. There's got to be a reason for that as well. That's another thing that I don't think people are really considering. Like, there's things that have been talked about. He was saying that he was getting, rebel rousers bothering his wife at her job at the bank. There's all these things going on. But could there be something else behind this? Is there another reason for that? So that's a whole nother layer, I think, to consider. But we can't really talk intelligently about it until we see the film. And again, I've reached out to Mark Evans. I'm trying desperately to get Mark Evans on the show. I'm hoping that's going to happen. I was going back and forth with some messages today. I know he's aware of my stuff. He watched my interview with Bill Munns. He's watched some of my coverage on this. So I'm hoping to get him on the show. And I'm hoping that's going to mean an advanced copy of the film for me to view before the interview. So I will have all the information when I sit down and talk to Mark. That's kind of how it happened. Sasquatch Sunset is a completely different beast. Please do not say I'm trying to compare Sasquatch Sunset to the Patterson-Gimlin film. But when Sasquatch Sunset came out a couple of years ago, I did sit down and have an interview with the Zellner brothers, and I got an advanced copy of the film that was not out at the time to view before the interview. So I'm kind of hoping that's how it goes with capturing.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Right.
You're
muted. You're muted.
Right, the kids keep coming in and out, so I'm trying not to get the.
They're cute, bless them.
Oh, don't worry.
But if he was smart, or I shouldn't say that. What I would do was I would have a screening and invite all the Bigfooters that can make it and let them watch it and then interview everyone afterwards.
Yeah.
And just from a marketing standpoint, that's amazing, especially if you believe you are sitting on something that ends one mystery. Okay, like. I watched Scooby-Doo growing up. That is another Scooby-Doo, X-Files, this film. They got me into this space. The beauty of it, though, is every show a mystery was solved, but I always tuned in for the next. Patty is one mystery in the entire expanse of Bigfooting. And yes, it's the one that will sting the hardest or the worst. But it's just one. And I just think the morning after everyone is destroyed, they wake up going, but that's why I got into this, the mystery. I want to solve this mystery. Yeah. And somebody did that for me. So I'm hoping Mark gets a bravo. Now to address Bob, my heart aches for Bob. When you talk about people being hurt by the film, he's probably the number one guy. And what you're saying, Brian, if I had to gamble it all right now on what I think you are 100% correct. He found out about it. He knew. He said, "Why are you doing this? We're making a film. If it's a hoax, and now you're going to run with it like it's real, this angle, because that's what you guys think is going to work best." And I'm not into that. I'm an honest man. I thought I was making a film with you. I'll gladly do that. But this is something that I didn't sign up for. But at the end of the day, the question is, do you stand by me? Do you stand by your boys, or do you exit stage left? And I think it will come back to Bob's honor as a man, where he had to make that choice and he stuck by it and he paid dearly. Yeah. Him and his wife harassed, So anyway, this is why, this is exciting. I'm sorry. I think this is wonderful. I think this is huge. I think this is can't believe this is happening. And I cannot wait to see where it goes. I'm binge watching this.
He's become the Armstrong world, basically.
Yeah, we've got a question.
I think, according to my sources,
Colonel Mustard.
You may not be too far off with this upcoming screening specifically for the Bigfoot community.
Oh,
you mean I still have producing chops left in me?
I might have a few producing chops left, my friend. I can't confirm or deny that. I'll just say that's a really freaking good idea, RPG.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was trying to push it. Because what his face is what made me stink back and not jump into it, because it broke my heart.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That will move lots of people that don't even believe in it. When they see someone emote about something, they're like, that's not even real. I'm tuning in for the broken hearts. I'm tuning in for the drama, right? Whatever gets you in the space.
Yep.
It's like you said, though, people who 99% of the younger community would have never even seen this film, would they? Because it goes back to the olden times where you used tapes and nothing was digital, and it wasn't on TikTok. So the fact that they've now got a dog in this fight, so to speak, because of that emotive reaction, says it all.
Yeah.
Right, we've got a question for you from Warren. He wants to know, how do you guys feel about the whole backstory of Bluff Creek, including the footprints? Are the trackways false as well? But then he's followed it up with Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum felt the Bluff Creek trackways were legit.
And that's one of the things that I asked Bill Munns, because Bill was actually in this Capturing Bigfoot documentary. And I said to him, hey, we're not just, again, totality of the circumstances, right? That's my thing. What about the trackway? Because that convinced Jeff. The first time I ever had Jeff on my show, he was hands down. He said to me, I remember it like it was yesterday, Brian, I am as convinced as I could have been as if I were standing on that sandbar with Roger and Bob that day, based on the trackway and the footprints alone. Hard stop. So that's one thing I asked Bill during the interview that I did with him recently is, hey, did they ask you about it? Did they get into the trackway? Do you know? Bill has not seen, in his defense, he's not seen the finished product. So he has not seen the full documentary. So he's not sure what's there or not. But he said, look, it was over 4 hours. When I interviewed him, he was up at 2:30 in the morning. He's in East Asia, and I was interviewing him from North Carolina. So he had been up for a lot of hours, and he's like, frankly, I don't remember if we had that conversation during the 4+ hours of interviewing that I did. It may or may not be there, but he did say, I don't think they're making a huge deal about the trackway in the documentary. And I followed that up with, it probably doesn't really fit the narrative. So I get that. As a filmmaker, do you want to add something that's just going to confuse and muddle when you really have a clear pathway here with this 40-second clip? Probably not. But that was a big question for me.
Balance.
Fair and balanced, not get everybody's cup of tea, especially when you're making a documentary that you're trying to prove a point with. But I say that to say, I don't expect there's a whole lot in the documentary about that, but it goes back again, devil's advocate. Here's the bottom line, I guess, is if it turns out that the Patterson-Gimlin film is hoaxed based on this new clip, then all the secondary evidence is also a hoax. That's just kind of how you have to look at it, right? So I think we're putting the cart before the horse, really talking about the tracks, because I think we kind of need to see what's in that 40-second clip. Now, again, and I've said this before, if it's ambiguous, if it is oh man, that kind of looks like Patty, but it may not be kind of thing, then that's another conversation. Then I go back to the secondary evidence and I'm going to say, well, what supports this versus that? I did get a call yesterday, unexpectedly, from another pretty well-known person in the Bigfoot community who had a lot to say about the trackway specifically. And he's not so sure that he hasn't discovered some artifact, I'll just say artifact, in the prints that has led him to believe that it may have been created artificially. What some people have considered to be a mid-tarsal break may be some artifact that was allowing them to apply these things and make these particular tracks. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to blow him up because we really haven't talked about me talking about that person publicly.
Yeah, that's cool.
All I can say is thank God for eDNA these days.
Well, the thing is with that, sorry, I was just going to say, the thing with that, it's going to be a lot more difficult to prove that it's real than to prove it's a hoax.
Of course, with anything.
Yeah. True. So what if it comes out that they then say, no, the second bit is a hoax, the original clip is genuine? How would that change it?
Say that one more time, just so I've been up for a long time too. I want to make sure.
So this documentary that's coming out with this extra, is it, you say 40 seconds? What if that comes out that that's a hoax and they're doing that to play on the original video? And that the original video.
I definitely think that is
the question, isn't it?
I would say that is a stretch, Andy, to be honest with you. I've heard people say that. What if they've used AI to somehow create this new 40-second clip? And I say, I would defer to Ryan. I think Ryan has a lot more experience in this than any of us as far as television. If you fake something as a documentarian to advance some sort of narrative, you are done. And I don't think that they have enough of a dog in this fight, in my opinion, to fake any of this stuff. Because if you know the backstory, which we really haven't talked about, Mark Evans got this piece of footage that we're talking about, this 40 some odd second clip. I keep saying 40 seconds because that's how it's been conveyed to me. It might be 43, it might be 52. I don't know. So we're just saying 40 some odd second clip. It came to him from a lady that he taught with in Washington State at the college that he taught at. A colleague there found this in her father's safe. Her father worked for Boeing. And it's been in his safe for almost 60 years. And she found it after he passed away, and she passed it on to Mark because she knew he was a documentary filmmaker, and she thought she might have something of value or substance that had something to do with nothing she knew anything about, but he might. And when he opened up and exposed what he had, he immediately said, "Oh shit, I think we have something here." So that's kind of the backstory of how he got this. And from what Bill Munn said to me, the film is 100% legitimate. He held it in his hand. He looked at it through a loop. He confirmed that it was manufactured in 1966, at least the film stock was manufactured in 66.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know when it was shot, but he did not feel or give me the impression that he had any inkling that this thing was faked in any way. So, I mean, Ryan, can you speak to that? I mean, if you're caught as a documentarian faking anything, you're pretty much, it's a wrap for you as far as your career.
Oh, totally.
Well, it would just be silly. The unique thing about that film is, even with today's technology, and Bill Munns will say, back this up, you can only get so close and look at it so well. That's one of the nice things about it that kind of has kept it protected for so long. If you now introduce AI, given how rapidly that is progressing and how talented people are now at spotting stuff, you're going to get ripped apart like effortlessly. You don't have that shield that the film has. So, I mean, I like any good conspiracy theory. It's wonderful to think about. Bravo to whoever came up with it. But no, I'm fascinated now. Who was this man? How is he connected to Roger? Did he work at Kodak? Why would he even know it's important? Dude, I am literally like almost getting chills. Like, that fascinates me. Somebody, I was listening, Brian, that's amazing. Like, I love it when people give me new information that like makes me excited about it again. But who was that guy? I think that's somebody's got to investigate.
So with his daughter, the woman that gave the video that she found in the safe, is she come forward and admitted all this, or is it just
interviewed her or him? Well, not him. I mean,
is it just hearsay that he got?
Maybe Abby could get to it, but I can't.
Is he just saying, "Oh, this woman did me. She works at Boeing, blah 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 blah"?
Yeah.
Is it just another backstory?
Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah, I don't know her backstory. I don't know if she's even willing to come forward. I would certainly, if I get in contact with Mark and I have Mark on the show, I would certainly love to get a step deeper and maybe have her on there for an interview to talk about how her dad got this. It's my understanding, as I've been told, that her father got the film directly from Roger Patterson, is how I understand.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to know their connection. I want to know why he was
and some people have postulated that, remember, there's always been this huge controversy around how Al Diatley got the Patterson-Gimlin film developed so quickly on a weekend. And there's always been this big conspiracy theory, thing around where the Patterson-Gimlin film was developed. We still don't know that.
Oh, isn't there a connection between Kodak and Boeing?
I'm sure there is. So
I'm sure I've heard some.
There's some people
that's intriguing.
There's some people that are postulating that maybe this guy, this lady's father, who had this film, is the person who used the Boeing lab where they developed Kodachrome film to develop the Patterson-Gimlin film, and he kept this 40-second clip for whatever reason after developing the PG film, because he did it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it might have been filmed in very short succession, let's say. Maybe that film that we're talking about, that 40-second clip, maybe that film was created, it was manufactured in 1966. Maybe what Patty is filmed on was also the same batch of film, and it was all filmed within 2 weeks of each other, let's say, or a week of each other, or 2 days of each other, and it was all taken on the weekend to Boeing to be developed, and he kept this for whatever reason in his safe for 6 decades. That's kind of the line that I'm following.
Right, I've just asked.
I just got lost in the cuteness then. Sorry, Brian.
Is there a connection direct between Kodak and Boeing? Short answer, no. But there are some interesting indirect links that overlap that are worth unpacking.
Oh, go on.
Kodak, photography, film, image tech. Boeing, aerospace, aviation, defense systems. These operate in completely different sectors to no obvious structural tie. This is where they overlap. Aerospace imaging. That word, can't say it. Yeah, what she said. Kodak produced high precision film and imaging systems used in spy satellites, aerial, that word. Boeing has built military aircraft, satellites, and space systems. So Kodak and Boeing, and Boeing have worked together to manufacture different types of technology between them.
And this is the height of the Cold War, don't forget, as well. So aerial photography.
I was just going to get to that bit.
Yeah.
So when did the Cold War start? 50s, 60s?
Pretty much straight after World War II, to be fair.
Right. So
was that all he had? Was that the only clip? Because that's intriguing. If that's the only footage he held on to, why? Right? Now, if he had more, if there was more footage there and it's just, B-roll and other stuff, okay. But if that's it, 40, 57 seconds, whatever, okay, I'm wildly intrigued, because if I say he is the guy that processed it and you process it, and then you find out that, oh, you're not making a film, you're going to say it's real, or maybe you just notice that it's real. You keep it, because this may be of value someday, because this proves that it's real.
I want to see if there's any financial transactions going on there, because if you've got that film and you've got something over, and obviously that this PG film's making a ton of money at the time, going around and all the rest of it, then is someone going, well, if I'm holding this back, I want a little bit of hush money.
That's another thing.
Where's the financial records?
But what if that money's run out and he's like, how do we make more money? I know what. We'll bring this out.
God, yeah. What's the Roger
You still get the wheel rolling and rolling.
But if Roger gave it to him, that's really bizarro. Why? Just burn it, like supposedly Clint burned the suit. Just get rid of it. If you're making a film and then you decide, screw that, we're just going to say this is real because we nailed it. We knocked it out of the park. Kubrick showed up and said, I just did the moon. Let me help you. Let me give you some boom. And you nailed it. You get rid of everything. Yeah. So why?
The NASA tapes are missing, so they got rid of everything.
No, they was found in a garage somewhere, and they were sold on a car boot sale.
I thought that was the alien autopsy.
No, that was the moon landings.
Bill Munn said something to me on the show that I'd never heard before. He said he truly believed that Roger Patterson actually did purchase a suit from Philip Morris to film Bob Hieronymus walking in the woods as Patty, as part of his B-roll for the docu-series or docudrama that he and Bob were filming. I'd never heard anybody admit to that before. And Bill said, I think that footage is probably out there somewhere, or at least it existed in some capacity, because he said, I think it would verify or at least solidify what Bob Hieronymus has been saying for the last 60 years. Hey, I was the dude in the suit, people, and nobody believed him. Yeah. The only diversion there is that Bill Munns believes that happened, that there may have been a suit similar to what we see in the PG film worn by Bob Hieronymus, but it wasn't the PG film. It was something completely separate. So he thinks 95% of what Bob Hieronymus is saying, yes, Roger Patterson filmed me with a K100 camera walking in a ape suit in the woods near or around Bluff Creek, but it wasn't what we see in the PG film. Even that to me makes a little more sense because, again, if he was filming a docuseries about Bigfoot, if you don't actually film Bigfoot, at some point in time, you're going to have a dude in a suit. That's another thing that Doug Hychick and I talked about in that phone call I mentioned very early on in this. Doug said, hey,
chick in a suit.
Exactly. Doug was like, I've done tons of documentaries. If you're going to film something that's about Bigfoot and you can't actually have the real thing, at some point in time, you're probably going to have an ape suit and a guy wearing it to get the visual that you're looking for, right? So I think all of that may come together, but I think there may be more stuff out there. I think there are other pieces of film that may exist. And what I truly believe, if this turns out to be a hoax, I think what happened is, I think this guy is the person who Al Diatley had a connection with for whatever reason at Boeing. He went to him on the weekend and said, we've got to get this shit done. I need you to develop this. And in the fray, I don't necessarily think Roger may have said, hey, I'd like you to have this gift of this 40-second clip of this other stuff that we're never going to show anybody. I think he might have just kept it, if you know what I'm saying. In the fray, you come in and you've got several things of film, but this is the main one. This is the one we want, right? They left with what they wanted. They got what they wanted, and maybe they just totally forgot about this other clip that was a part of this stuff, because there was a lot of other B-roll. We've seen it. Todd Prescott at the Sasquatch Archives. He's got copies of this docuseries that was finished eventually by Patterson and put out there. Very few people have seen it. There is a BBC documentary that's separate from anything that Roger did about the filming of Patty. So you've got these two different things with a lot of stuff. But I reached out to Todd Prescott as soon as this came out, and I said, hey, dude, you could solve the mystery here. You have a copy of Patterson's docudrama, correct? Yes. Is there a 40-second clip or anything that is remotely looks like what's being described in Capturing Bigfoot as a part of Roger's filming? Because if it's even in the B-roll, okay, then there's nothing to see here. It's in his docuseries or his docudrama. It has nothing to do with a hoax or a dry run or a replica, any of those things. Case closed. Todd said it's not there. It's not in either one of those docudramas or the documentary from the BBC.
That's intriguing. That's intriguing.
It doesn't exist there. So it's something completely different that we've never seen. And I don't think anybody that's connected to that really may want us to see it, if I'm being frank. So I think that's kind of where I'm at this point.
Why keep it?
If I'm wrong, I'm the first person to eat crow. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it, hands down. But I'm telling you now, I think where there's smoke, there's fire.
I'll tell you one thing. Everybody's talking about this documentary.
But what if there's even more footage than that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It could be anything, can't it?
The plot thickens, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not getting excited about this because the mystery has taken a turn, right? Like, this should be exciting for people. It should be. There's high drama. There's things at stake now. Like, I don't know. I'm exhilarated by this, and I think it's Brian. You're doing a great job on it. Us just talking about it. There's somebody out there that knows the truth besides Bob. Is what now I'm leaning toward, because always before it was on Bob, but this is on Bob and his wife.
Yeah.
Others. There's more characters, and how many times have you moved? I want to know. Have they been in that same house for 60 years, and that safe is the same safe? Because I've moved like how many times?
Yeah.
That would mean this was so important. It never got left behind, like old computers or old pictures. I'm gonna save that forever. Where is that box? I left it at the last place. Oh man, there's just it's exciting, man. I wish we had the kind of money where we just go drop everything. This is the doc. We hit it hard. Let's go. you know?
Oh, there'd be some freedom of information if it was even possible. I mean, yeah, I mean, Kodak. I mean, has Kodak still got the film stock? Was it destroyed at the time? Was the celluloid recycled? You know, was it kept? You just don't know, do you?
Somebody even commented on my video today on YouTube, my interview with Bill Munns, and said, "What if the people from Boeing get wind of this? It could technically be their film. If it was developed there, they could claim rights to it, and maybe they just reach out and say, we want our shit back, and you don't get to see it anymore." I mean, I don't know if that's reality, but there's so much to it. And according to what I've been told, the lady that's this gentleman that worked at Boeing, his wife was very apprehensive about anybody ever seeing this because she was scared that her husband could get into some kind of legal trouble if he were involved in protecting this hoax for all these years. That's why she was very adamant about it never coming to light. And I don't know how that happened after he passed away, but clearly his daughter got a hold of this and she got it over to Mark Evans, and that's why we're having this conversation now. So that's just one more layer of the cake, if you will.
Yeah.
Again, you have this gentleman at Boeing, you have his wife trying to protect his legacy. Even after he passed away, she's like, absolutely not. Nobody needs to see this because that means it implicates him, at least on some level, as being a part of perpetuating this hoax for, gosh, the last 6 decades. So
you know what he was? He was in the horse suit that Bob was riding.
I want to know who's in the golden bell bottoms, man.
I'm already writing this book in my mind. I cannot wait.
Brian, if you get an invite to the screening because they're doing it, I ask, throw my name in, or at the very least, just send me a text. It's happening. And
yeah, I'm gonna fly down to Florida and pick you up, and we're going, dude.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. Oh, I'd be stoked.
Just make sure to fly Boeing.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and take your Kodak camera with you.
There could be a lot of rights issues. There could be a lot of suing over this. I mean, this could go either way, really, especially with passions running high. I mean, even after it comes out, I don't think we've heard the last of this by any means. I mean, great marketing scheme for the actual documentary itself, the previewing, the 40-second clip, the emotional reaction video. I mean, for someone who's into marketing, social media marketing, and all the rest of it, you couldn't ask for anything better because people can't stop talking about it. Dude. I mean, the final cut hasn't even, come out yet, and people can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, it's affecting everything, literally everything. I interviewed a gentleman, I guess it was last year, Eric Fulford. He's they're in the process now of, they're trying to do crowdfunding, and they're in the process of filming a new documentary series, or a new, I guess it would be called a docudrama, called Bigfoot Enterprises, about specifically Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. It's less to do with the Patterson-Gimlin film itself. It's more about their relationship, how they met, the backstory, and the human part of the story. And I interviewed Eric last year. They asked me to come on board as an executive producer on the film. We've been talking about that back and forth. I am not an executive producer. I do not have anything to do with that particular film, Bigfoot Enterprises, at this point. They did send me the script to read over, and they are actually having to go back now and amend the project in some ways because of this new revelation about the PG film. I think Bigfoot Enterprises is still going to happen. It's still going to come out eventually. It's just going to change the landscape a bit of how that film is made now, because this is such a huge deal, specifically to do with the PG film. It doesn't really change the backstory of how Bob and Roger met and all the things, but I think they would be remiss if they didn't acknowledge what's going on in real time while they're in the process of making this film. I think, Ryan, I mean, if you're in the process of making a film like that and something like this comes out, you got to pump the brakes a little bit and say, whoa, how's this going to affect what we're doing? So it's affecting literally everything in Bigfoot at this point.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, surely the best way to put this out is to do it unedited. Just get all the video evidence you've got, whether it's real or fake, put it out there, and that will show to a degree, whether it's a hoax or not.
Well, just mimic if it is a hoax and they were there filming a film and this was they just nailed the shot, do what they did. Get rid of the whole documentary and just bring this around and show it to people. That's all you need to do. Yeah. Because I will admit it, I am scared to see it. In all the wild, fun, awesome, but I'm scared to see it because I don't want it to break my heart. My interview alone would push the marketing on that. You know what I mean? Anyway, I can't wait to see what happens. I know it was supposed to be on, what was it, Plex or some channel on TV, and they pulled it. They were like, whoa, wait, we have something really good. But how would you not know that unless you truly are so outside of the space, you don't understand how powerful it will resonate, you know? There's so many there's so many questions, but I want to start this thing where we start getting into people's attics. We find all these random people.
Hell yeah.
And it's just us going into the attics looking for some hopeful tape or a safe buried in the back. Don't open that until 2040, you know?
Yeah, it's like the American Pickers Bigfoot edition.
Yeah.
I would produce that.
Storage walls, cryptid style.
Yeah.
That's
the one. Yeah. So, like you said, it could just be a marketing ploy. It could be anything.
Could be anything.
That
Even
is
if
the
it's not
only
a
way I would
ploy,
use
it's
AI.
a great strategy. Sorry, Ryan.
No, I'm sorry. Ladies first. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, even if it's not a ploy, it's a great strategy anyway, just to release it, just to get hype about this documentary, because everyone is talking about it. And I know your heart's going to be broken if it turns out to be, but at the end of the day, it might be the reason why you fell in love, but it wasn't the reason you stayed in love.
And for most of us, we do have a first love, but that's not always the one you end up with. We will fall in love again.
Precisely.
Yep.
Very well said.
Thank you, Darren. I agree.
All right. Should we go on the Kraken now?
Kraken.
How
long is the show? How long do we have here? What is going on? Is there any?
I'll go all night if you want. Go for days.
How do we segue?
Yeah, how do you follow the Patterson-Gimlin film?
Well, that was it. That's why
anybody can do it. Ryan can.
It's a drop in the ocean of the cryptid field.
There you go.
Speaking of new loves, how about the Kraken?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, besides
the Bigfoot of the ocean. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, here's an interesting fact about the Kraken. So we're talking about the most beloved Bigfoot film or evidence of all time. So it stands on a mountain alone, basically. Yeah. If you just jump on Google now, ask AI, what is the world's most famous cryptid across the whole world? It is the Kraken. Yeah. So the Kraken stands on its own peak as well. And because only very small parts of certain governments have the technology necessary to get to the deepest depths and to do studies, they completely did the makeup. One of my daughters is really into makeup, so they just did the baby up. So when she comes, come here. Can I show? And just like Emily, Daniel's sister, is really good, and she's just started doing it. You know.
Oh wow!
And I'm hoping to get her to come work under Emily on one of the films we shoot because I think it would be
fantastic.
So great.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so the Kraken is the world's most famous monster. So if you could segue, I guess we can. And I'll just get to one aspect. Do you want to show them? What are you doing? Can I show them your makeup? You look very pretty. Can I? She's 2 going on 3. So the and the emotional part, they're all kicking in at the same time. And
I love the precociousness. They're finding their own personalities. Brilliant age.
But I'll get to I don't know if any of you have seen the History's Greatest Mysteries episode with Lawrence Fishburne, in which we discussed the Kraken. In doing research for that, there was one that came out that I had never heard before. So hopefully, if you guys haven't seen it, I will share this with you because it made me excited about the Kraken, about the ocean again. So we know all these things. We know that back in the day, superstition and the fact that they were literally putting out flyers and Gothic fiction and stuff, telling sailors that you're going to be devoured by great sea beasts. The ocean, the world just ends and you're just going to go off the end of it. Like, it was already the scariest job to take, you know, and then, I'm almost, I ask Andy and Abby. They're the bosses tonight. A&A.
I think it's till 10, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
how
a
about
few
this?
more
Yeah.
minutes.
At least
Not
another
long.
10 minutes, okay? But hey, if you keep your sister out, we go get. Okay, well, it's small. It's little large. Okay.
Dude, you're cute.
Okay, I might have 10 minutes. Okay, here we go again. Sorry.
Go.
Sorry, everyone listening. Become a parent is the greatest thing ever, but also don't become a parent because it is crazy. Anyway, so in doing this, this thing came across that lit me up like a Christmas tree, and I'm very excited to share it with you. So there was a paleontologist named Mark McManaman in 2011 who was studying in a place that used to be deeply underwater, Berlin, Nevada, and they were excavating. And what they found was carcasses of an Acanthosaurus, which is basically a gigantic dolphin. Let's just say that. Like we're talking 70 feet, 35 tons, super apex predator of the top waters. Okay. But basically something you don't mess with. Well, we know about those. We have their skeletons. Not really a big deal. But what was very curious was that he found 9 of them, and they were all stacked on top of each other, one at a time. Okay, so that's interesting, right? You would expect bones to be scattered or moved, but stacking,
they'd be,
exactly. Stacking only happens, to our knowledge, with one other animal in the ocean. Does anybody know what that is? It is a cephalopod. Octopi will take the carcasses and stack them in front of their den to 1, block the view, and 2, grab a quick snack, right? It's like having the refrigerator right near your bed,
Lockdown all over again.
Right. But in all the stories of the Kraken, right? I feel like even with Bigfoot, there's always a bunch of things in play that you have to narrow down. Bigfoot, yes, sometimes people see black bears and they mistake it. Sometimes it's just shadows playing tricks in your eyes. Sometimes it could be somebody in a suit. Same thing with the Krakens. Imagine that same, and I hate to say ignorance, but just the not knowing, and you're in your boat, everyone's told you there's monsters out there that are going to kill you, and suddenly the ocean opens up and this giant gaping maw comes out, water flies everywhere, the ocean pours into it, and then as quickly as it appears, it goes back in. It's just a whale feeding. But when you're armed with a fear campaign and you just don't know, that's the Kraken. On top of that, from basking sharks, which can get over 30 feet. I mean, I commercial fished for a while, and we pulled one out of the water, and you can't really see it until it gets within like 10 feet or so. Dude, I'm in a boat. It's dead. It got caught in our net. It comes out of the water, and I would have leapt if I wasn't kind of wedged where I was. It was frightening. This thing was massive. We had to literally get a chainsaw, and I'm sitting there in a boat, and we're the body, blood chunks and bone flying all over. I could just
wait to attract jaws. You need a bigger boat, dude. You need a
bigger
bigger boat,
man. That's a big fish. But anyway, there are a lot of things, from whirlpools, maelstroms, everything. Parabolia at sea, same place can have it. But the most famous picture is by that French artist, where you see this 3-masted ship, massive, and you have the tentacles coming up and over the top of it, right? And that's a giant octopus. It wasn't a giant squid. And what do we know about giant squid and octopi? Right now, what the general public knows is they're radically different. The octopus, more shallow waters, hides in dens and stuff. The biggest ones we know now get up to around 600 pounds. Maybe you get a big one at 1,000 pounds. The giant squid, considerably larger, 2,000 pounds, much larger. I mean, they found suckers both inside sperm whales and on their sides that would say these can get up to like 100 feet. But still, we're talking about something that could take a 3-masted ship, could take Acanthosaurus and pull it 70-foot, 35-ton animal and take it down and stack it, right? That's an octopus. So he theorized, he goes, well, on top of that, the bones, the way they were chewed wasn't like shark's teeth. It looked like a beak. So he goes, there's got to be a beak here. And if they didn't find anything, then okay, great theory. But hey, yes. Hey, I'm in the middle of a story. Do you guys want ice cream, or we want to all go to bed crying tonight? What do you want to do? Oh, you just woke up? Okay, come say hi real quick. You're the only one who hasn't come. I'm trying to conclude. Everyone, this is Sky. She
Hi,
is
Sky.
going
Hello.
to Bigfoot. She has, I consider myself attentive in the woods. I'm there to pay attention. I try to clear my mind. She'll be like, oh, do you see that bird there? And oh my God, there's a lizard on a tree. 40. She just sees it all. She sees it.
Oh, fantastic.
And I wish that she, I would hope everyone wished that their kiddos or people you love, like Brian,
Yeah.
it was what an amazing moment to stand by your side. And even though I didn't get to have a Class A sighting that night, what an honor to be there with you and share that with you. But anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, now get lost. I got to finish this. All right. I love you all. I love you all. I love your mom more. Okay.
Hold you down to ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, do not get into her perfume. Hey, out. Don't do that. She'll be upset.
It's always dangerous when you get the whole smell my hand. It could go either way.
When I leave, I'll smell my hand. Listen, I'm not hanging out with my bros because then, that would be very nice. At least that smells delicious. But I'll have to. Okay, guys, out. Okay, this is it. Okay, sis, but we're gonna go have fun. Please get along. All right, I'll lock the door. Tell nobody.
Reminds me of when my brothers and sisters were younger.
Oh, dude, and they
it.
love this, and I hope this inspires them to take it to that next level. And they do,
definitely.
they do find it. But so he finds a beak. Let's just sit in this for a second. I know we've talked about PG, and that's it's dark and stormy.
Yeah.
They found a beak. Unless that is a blatant lie, they found the beak of a cephalopod large enough to take a 70-foot, 35-ton super apex predator, pull it into the depths, and stack them on top of each other.
Jesus.
That just sat me still, because I've always, you always wonder, and I'm not saying there couldn't be something even bigger. There couldn't be Megalodon or something like that. But in most accounts, it's always described as having tentacles. That is the most famous, and usually most famous or most beloved is for a reason, because that resonates with more people, because more people have seen that. And this is something that's been going around forever. Like World War I, this British warship was taken out by U-boats, and they were at sea for weeks, and they only had these small lifeboats, so other ones were hanging off. Well, they swore that they were attacked at night several times by a giant octopus. Yeah. And nobody believed him. And then one of the survivors who said he saw his friend get taken and pulled right into its mouth. Years later, 15 years later, he shows a marine biologist this circular suction mark on his leg, and she goes, "You were attacked by some kind of unknown cephalopod." So the beautiful thing about this, which is why I think we're all into it, is we're all investigators, like Brian used to be as a police officer. Like, that's what makes this so exciting. When I found that information, until someone disproves it, or I myself finally grow the cojones needed to go that deep in the ocean, I believe that what the Kraken truly is exactly what the most famous Piers de something is the gentleman that drew it, is a giant octopi, a giant cephalopod. And then once you hit cephalopods, then that opens this Pandora's box of what truly is the most intelligent species on this earth. And if we compare it to Bigfoot just for a second, like Bigfoot is intelligent enough to mostly stay hidden from us, to be the perfect ambush apex predator on land. If this thing is even close to as smart, and I would argue probably smarter, every limb's got a brain. I mean, dude, you know how many brains it is? This thing would be incredibly adept at staying away from us and keeping its distance. On top of that, you think, well, how would it? These are shallow hunters, I mean, they can go reasonably deep, but predominantly stay near the top. Well, the ocean, right, is they let us have little views of it. They don't want us to have views because it's spectacular. But up in around Scandinavia, where the most maelstroms are from, 10,000 feet down, they have found, which is essentially a microenvironment that would find on the surface. So now, and then with the changing of the earth and earthquakes and everything, it could have opened massive compartments and places down there. So now you have the depth, you have the increased oxygen levels pouring out of these things, you have the increased atmospheric pressure to make things grow larger, the two things that increase flora and fauna size. You now have an environment that we can almost not get to at all, like the top of a mountain or the very center of a swamp. And you also have feeding grounds where these animals that survive can only move so far. So all this thing has to do is sit on the edge of that darkness, with its, who knows, 200-foot long tentacles and just reach in and grab food when it's hungry.
Yeah.
And it is literally the god of this underworld domain. I think that's what's down there. I think that's what is awaiting one of us. And I say this to everyone listening, like, where are our millionaires and billionaire friends who are like, okay, let's go for it.
Yeah.
I invite you, I dare you, I challenge you, take some of the beautiful life that you've created, and let's go prove one of these completely true or false. And I mean, and then, dude, then you can use AI and you can, okay, well, where are these places in the world where these micro environments underwater exist that could possibly have that? You can literally narrow down where we need to go. We just need the cha-ching and the technology to get down there.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Kraken, in my humble opinion, cephalopod, and they like to say millions of years ago it died out. BS. The ocean is one place that has stayed fairly consistent.
The giant colossal squid was a myth until what, 10 years ago when they found one in the belly of a sperm whale and they found the suckers on it. But also as well, they say sailors are superstitious, but they're not. As you say, they know maelstroms. They know all the different conditions they have to survive the high seas, especially in times like, you know, in non-modern times where you had galleons and schooners and things like that. It wasn't just making up legends to explain weather systems or stuff like that. They said what they saw, basically, and the map readers and the map drawers and the cartographers drew it because it's just like, hang on, guys. This is what could be out there. Be warned.
Be warned. Yeah. And so here's what I say to the millionaires and billionaires that may be listening to this that are like, that would be a great adventure. Here's how you do it, right? Because if these things are meant to be kept secret, Bigfoot, Kraken, all that, to keep our world smaller, and the vicarious voyage is what we do now, then here's what I say. I would do it like a challenge. You got to create a challenge, but there's 1,000 people or 100 people that are going to go on this boat with us. And that's all that's ever going to see whatever we capture. Now, they can talk about it, but you will never see the video. You will never hear the recordings. You will never. But there's only a small handful that will get to know it. And you will either believe these people or not. So pick your 100 wisely, 100 people that will learn the truth, you know? Same thing with Bigfooting. I challenge that any cryptids, just let the government, let the world know we're not going to fully let it out, but we are going to go figure it out. Because I think it's very possible with money to do that. You know, I do. I think it's very dangerous and foolish. But I want one more. I want to, what was the movie? Oh, I don't know if you guys watch Landman, but Billy Bob Thornton says something very interesting when he's basically offered the cush job that he'll make all the money he wants. His life will be easy. Everything will settle down. But he's like, I just want one more chance to see if I can hit a home run. And I wish all of us and everyone, one more home run, right? Which kind of is what keeps us going. That's why I keep going to the world. Maybe this, you know, one more. But yeah, Kraken, if anyone has any that's listening, any other information or anything like that, find me online, hit me up. I really love sea monsters. Don't tell Bigfoot, but it was my first love. Yep. Oh,
you're muted, Andy. You're muted, mate.
The government muted you.
Yeah.
No, there's a ambulance or something going past, so I turned it down because
I thought you were worried I was going to gong you, so you know you muted yourself.
No. I'm just saying thank you both for coming on, but I've got one last question before you go. So you know how we've changed the question to show and tell.
Mm-hmm.
Abby,
you want me to show my boobies?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Abby.
Show and tell. Oh, right. Yes.
So
I've not it's a long week, dude.
So even though I've not told you guys about this, but I acquired this. I've had it for 2 years. The person who had it before me had it for about 10 years. It was found in the house. The guy had died, and the guy who I got off, his nephew was mates with him, and he was clearing it out, and he found this in the house, and now I've ended up with it. Are you ready?
Yes, this is awesome. What? That you found it in his house? That's not something you buy online.
Well, have a look online. 100 grand to buy them. I did not pay that. You can see.
Thank you for the anus. I was curious about
the detail, man. Seriously,
that's really good.
Well, this is in water at the moment. I have bought some alcohol.
It's getting moldy.
It's starting to mold. Now, if that wasn't organic, it wouldn't go moldy. If it's just in water.
So are you saying that could be real, or that is just how well they can fake things these days?
We don't know. We don't
Well,
know.
We've worked out it's probably been in that jar for around about anything between 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
What? Dude, the next time we talk, I would love, you've done a little bit of legwork and figured this out. This is a great mystery.
Well, we're hoping maybe, you know, if there's get a sample of it, we can send it.
But if you
search what
alien,
it is.
If you search alien in a mason jar and have a look, there's one on the whole of the internet that looks exactly the same as that, and it's selling. First one is $97,000, and the other one for $99,000.
Yeah.
Wait, you're sitting on $100,000 mummy?
Wait.
You can fund that trip to find the Kraken. Come on.
Oh, I will never own an alien in a jar again.
No, that's priceless. That needs to go in a safe.
So that's what I mean. Yeah. So, is it real? Is it fake? It doesn't matter because it is what it is.
Yeah.
I felt it. It's heavy. It's solid. It stunk of rotting cabbage when I opened it to clean the water. The water was like proper murky. It was like rotten. So when I get the alcohol delivery tomorrow, I'm going to do it in the show.
Test it first.
How do you test what? Have a couple of shots.
No. Expose a little bit and do a patch test on the actual thing to make sure it doesn't dissolve or degrade it. Yeah. Before you submerge it in alcohol,
all that being fine, and it is, I'm going to put it in the shower, get rid of the bits of mold, put it in the alcohol, put the lid back on. I'm going to seal the lid with super glue, I think. Dude, and then go from there.
I will help pay for the safe that you hide somewhere in your house or bury it in the basement or whatever, and with just a note that says, never let anyone know about this. Just start.
Imagine that.
I want a slight sample on a slide, mate. Seriously.
There you go.
Slight sample on a slide before you seal it away.
So all that aside, congratulations. Really cool.
Yeah, these 3 fingers is a thumb, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the shape of the head. If there was a job lot of them made, you would be able to find them online.
It's true.
Or around the world. You can find the little crappy green ones that are made out of silicon that are just in the slime and all that kind of stuff, like $15-20 max. I've only ever seen one other photo. It's in the exact same jar as that.
Wow. And who made it? What other information was there at all? Sorry, my brain.
The guy who had the house.
Yeah, move over, Paddy. We've got Alien and John.
And so he died, and he had loads of stuff, and he was in the house. He's clearing it, and a lad called Craig. He goes, "Oh, I'll give that to my uncle." So the guy whose uncle is baby with a laser, his real name's Darren. So he's up in Manchester, around the corner from where I'm from. He's like over near Manchester Airport. I'm just on the other side of it. And so I'm like, right, get the car fixed, drive up there, and I got it, and I'm just sat there, just staring at it. And he said, he'll tell you, I'm just like absolutely mesmerized, just looking at this thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what it is. I see what it looks like. And whether it's real or fake, I don't think that matters.
It's cool as at the end of the day.
It's what it is. It could even be a movie prop.
Yeah.
And even so.
A $99,000 movie prop?
But this is a question that I'm going to ask everyone.
How much a lightsaber goes for?
How many more of them have you guys ever seen or heard of?
None.
That's definitely a first for me. I'm ready to take it down to the hospital and get it x-rayed.
That's what I said. Seriously. I, on the UFO files, I said, if there's any radiologists in.
Becky works at the hospital.
Do it.
My missus works at the hospital.
I'll keep that footage in a safe.
Yeah.
What's interesting too, Brian, do you know of a gentleman named Bill Miller, Native American gentleman, really good friends with Johnny Cash and his son, and plays a lot of music, won all sorts of Grammys. Anyway, he was just at the library where I took the kids today. And speaking on behalf of that, I know it looks more like an alienate UK, alienate UK. But I just brought up to him, I was like, hey, I'm a cryptozoologist and I study Bigfoot, and I just think it's so cool that we're talking. And he goes, like them all, the little people, and they are very real, and there are places in the world where people still. I am on the phone. Yes, I've got 5 minutes. Okay, please. And he says little people are very real, and he actually was taken out to a remote place in Montana where, you know, he's going out there, and he's heard of them, but when he got out there was intricate bridges made and woven, like a full, like, obviously either a really talented artist in the middle of nowhere is making mini furniture and whatnot, but it's there. And I'm about to speak on another show with Dan Aykroyd, and we're going to be discussing changelings in Iceland, where they will literally divert freeway systems because this supposed rock, because they don't want the bad luck and misfortune or just pissing them off, right? Because it is about respect. We share this realm together, and they have respect for it. So, you know, do I think that's real off the cuff? I no, but I want it to be real.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
so
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm there's literally gonna be like
that's me.
The door. So I love you guys.
Right, we'll let you go then. I was gonna say I'd love for it to be real, but whether it is, I don't know. Doubt.
At the end of the day, it gets people talking.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I'd love to see you again, Brian.
We'll
I'd love to see you again, Brian. Andy.
Yes, both of you. Yes. Hopefully, we get to meet up again sometime soon.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. We'll let you go because, you know, Brian, you've got to go and buy ice cream for your kids, and Brian, you've got a show in about 2-3 hours from now. So is that the one with Coley weather?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to interview Eric Palacios at 8 my time, which is about an hour and 45 minutes or so. And then I'm going to be live tonight over on another show at 10:30 Eastern.
SNX.
Yeah,
Dude,
something like
you're
that.
a podcasting beast.
Yeah, Coley weather. Yeah. I should still be awake. If I am, I'll jump on, and because she sent me the link to it before, and I'm like, it's weekend, I need to just chill out and watch some footage. So I'll try and jump on there. So, thank you. Sorry.
Thank y'all for having us.
No, thank you both so much for coming on. Brilliant. And I'm glad we spoke about what we did talk about as well. Yeah. I love it when it doesn't go to plan. It's just so much better.
Well, I'm going to talk to my agent because I was promised a half hour on the Kraken and I got 10 minutes.
Well, that means you got to come back on, Ryan. You know, it's a segue. We're back in.
You roll with the pot. It was very organic, and it was awesome.
He's got 20 minutes of missing time.
Yeah,
that's what he's got.
That's it.
Yeah. Right, we'll let you guys go. Let you get started for later. Great to meet you. Great to speak to you again. Hopefully, get you back on again soon.
Yeah.
Peace out. Y'all have a great night.
See you later, guys.
All right. Take care. See you later.
Bye.
Always. That's it. We're done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening, watching, enjoying.
Monday, we have got John Hanson on the UFO files, and we're going to be going into some very interesting stuff.
Yes. And in 2 weeks' time, Friday is changing from Gateway into the Unknown into the UFO files Friday. So UFO files will be bi-weekly as of the 13th of April. We have Kevin Day coming on.
Fantastic.
You know, when I said I know him, when you was talking about the TikToks and all, the next day I went, Kevin, any chance you can come back on? He's like, oh, great to hear from you, Andy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'd love to come on. So he's going to send me a load of information over. And we have Steve Mera coming back on as well. So Steve's coming on the Monday the 13th, and Kevin Day's coming on the Friday, same week. Yeah. But Steve's got loads of new research that he wants to talk about. So.
Oh, fantastic. And we'll be picking up with the USOs with Jay again. And at some point as well.
The week after that, Jay's on the Monday. So we're going to do USO 2. I'm also going to be on Monday at some point to announce the next guest speaker of Festival of the Unexplained. So I've got all that going on. And myself and Nicole will be on Wednesday with Reality Check. So Encyclopedia of the Unknown is taking a break. We was going to splash through it and get to Z. We thought, no, we'll pause it. We'll record a few and just put them out at a steady pace to keep it going.
Yeah.
But we want to do this reality check because it's going to be so much more fun.
Yes.
There's just more to it, more detail, more things to cover. So
I'm looking forward to that. And of course, as well, next Friday is Paranormal Pizza. Or now UAP Pizza. No,
we're having a break.
It's Friday.
It would be, but who do we have coming on? Who was not with us tonight? Don't say
David.
Nicole, Tommy.
No, Tommy, Michelle. The rest of the gang.
Come on, where have you been living?
Oh, of course. We have Ronnie coming on. Of course.
Ronnie LeBlanc coming on next Friday.
Dude, you do that many bloody podcasts. I can't freaking keep up.
I think I can.
And I'm on half of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got Ronnie LeBlanc next Friday. So we've got John Hanson on Monday.
Yes.
Ronnie LeBlanc on Friday. This Sunday, there is no Cryptid Hour because David's away filming and he'd be rushing to get back. So I said, look, leave it. I've got loads of editing that I need to do, a few videos that I need to put together, a few photographs that I now need to take. So
and tonight's kind of been like the Cryptid Hour as well, though, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. That's what I liked about the Fridays is a little bit of everything. But as you know, I'm pushing towards a UFO alien genre. So topics. It's more me. It's more exciting. I like the cryptids. I'm not so keen on the ghost spirits. I'm not saying it's not real. It's just it's not my thing anymore. So, and there's enough people doing it, like yourself, like Nicole, like Kevin, Paul Howard. Do you know what I mean? To investigate girls, Greg, Ash, all them. So that there's enough people out there that are doing the ghost spirits, the paranormal side of the paranormal.
Yeah.
So I'm just my thing's UFOs because it's my, like Ryan just said, the Kraken's his first love.
Yeah.
And UFOs and ETs. So as you can see, that's all I've got around me.
There we
I've
go.
even got.
I'm going to shamelessly plug now because we're not competing. Now UFO Files is on at 8:30 at 7 o'clock on Monday. Lifting the Veil on Sound Art Radio will be we'll be talking to Sir Brian Bowden.
Yes, one of the Knights Templar.
Yes.
Anyway, so the new podcast coming out at 8:30 on a Thursday. No, I'm only messing. Just finding it out. Yeah. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Sundays with David. So, and I have done David's outro, and he loves it.
Fantastic! Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, after some brain pain, but we got there. We did it. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you twice on Monday. I think
I'll see you then
at 7:30, then 8:30. Yeah. Anything you want to add before we vanish?
Have a lovely weekend, and I hope Blazer liked his sparkly pants.
Yeah, well, there's no choice. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to play it again before we go because it's pretty awesome.
Play us out.
There's an alien in my shed chewing corn, chewing corn, chewing corn. There's an alien in my shed chewing corn, chicken corn. Come on, everybody, let's do the hoedown. What's the job? The airlines.
Og's got some moves, man. Og's got some moves.
They all have. Like someone just plugged them in. And then, so anyone interested in going to the Festival of the Unexplained in Worcester, it is 6th, 7th, and 8th of November. Tickets are available. You can go to the website or you go to the Facebook page. And that is everything. Enjoy. I may do an odd stream over the weekend at some point. Who knows? Anyway, that's it. Gonna go.
Bye.
Tired. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Corn. If I had a spaceship, I'd visit my alien friends. If I had a spaceship, I'd visit my alien friends. If I had a spaceship, I'd visit my alien friends. And I could show them Earth, and they take me to the planet, yeah. And I could show them Earth, and they take me to the planet.